Hello, and welcome to CommonSensePolitics.tv. Trump's first full weekday in office. Trump abandons Trans-Pacific Partnership. Trump federal hiring freeze. Trump and GOP set to battle on spending cuts. Trump abandons Trans-Pacific Partnership. Part of an article in the New York Times written by Peter Baker said, President Trump upended America's traditional, bipartisan trade policy on Monday as he formally abandoned the ambitious 12-nation Trans-Pacific Partnership brokered by his predecessor and declared an end to the era of multinational trade agreements that defined global economics for decades. With the stroke of a pen on his first full weekday in office, Mr. Trump signaled that he plans to follow through on promises to take a more aggressive stance against foreign competitors as part of his America First approach. In doing so, he demonstrated that he would not follow old rules, effectively discarding long-standing Republican orthodoxy that expanding global trade was good for the world and America, and that the United States should help write the rules of international commerce. Instead, Mr. Trump said American workers would be protected against competition from low-wage countries like Vietnam and Malaysia, also parties to the deal. I think this will help bring jobs back to the United States. Trump's federal hiring freeze. Part of an article written by Joe Davidson of The Washington Post said, federal labor leaders were ready when President Trump froze government hiring Monday. It was a campaign promise they criticized before the election and did so again shortly after he made good on the pledge. President Trump's action will disrupt government programs and services that benefit everyone and actually increase taxpayer costs by forcing agencies to hire more expensive contractors to do work that civilian government employees are already doing for far less, said American Federation of Government Employees President J. David Cox Sr. This hiring freeze will mean longer lines at Social Security offices, fewer workplace safety inspections, less oversight of environmental polluters, and greater risk to our nation's food supply and clean water systems. I think that's nonsense. President Trump is not talking about laying people off. He said he's temporarily not going to hire more people. Trump, GOP set to battle on spending cuts. This is part of an article from Alexander Bolton from The Hill. President Trump may be headed into a big fight with Republican lawmakers with his plans for dramatic cuts to federal spending. Officials in the Trump administration are combing through conservative budgets to find ways to save money in an effort to get rid of the tremendous waste, fraud and abuse that Trump pledged to eliminate during the campaign. Many of the proposals that the officials are reviewing would gain support from a majority of conservative House Republicans, who have sought to cut the federal deficit by scrapping government programs they view as unnecessary. But some of Trump's targets have fans in the GOP-controlled Congress, particularly in the Senate. Trump's team is working with the Office of Management and Budget to lay the groundwork for the new administration's initial budget proposal, which is expected to reach Congress in the next 45 days. In their search for savings, the administration is relying on proposals outlined last year by the Heritage Foundation in its Blueprint for Balance, a federal budget for 2017. I think this proves that some Republicans waste as much money as they claim the Democrats waste. Thanks for watching and good night.